Hi and welcome to Let's Talk eBay. My name is Rich Pasini. Today is November 26, 2019. Thank you for tuning in. I just want to start off by saying thank you to all the new subscribers who recently subscribed to my channel. It is greatly appreciated. I hope you like the content and come back for more. Today, I'm just going to talk a little about eBay, about my sales being slow, and I just want to share this information with you. I don't have any websites to put up. The rest is up to you. I just want to share this information from what I gathered from the past and what I've been reading. Now, some of you may beg to differ and say, hey, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. That's up to you. I mean, I'm doing my research. I get the information from other sources. So, you know, what you take away from is what you take away from. But I'm here to try to help out and give a little information, a little insight. And this particular topic I want to talk about just briefly. It's just going to be an open conversation, open forum, meaning that I'm just going to talk to you out candidly. I'm going to just share some information. I got my little trusty pad here, my pen. I'm going to read off the pad because it's a lot. It's almost all 2 pages just about. And I'm going to read it. It's my hammer lefty, so my handwriting might not be the greatest, but I'm going to do the best I can. And I want to share with you guys as to why I believe, this is my own personal take, as to why eBay, in my situation, is why they're having slow sales. Well, my sales are coming to a stall, so to speak. You might get a sale here and there. And that's basically it. So far, I think for November, the month of November, what did I make? 5, 6 sales, if that? I don't even know. No, half of the month is just about over. This Thursday coming up is Thanksgiving, so I don't expect anything to be happening unless people don't celebrate Thanksgiving, you know, and they're on eBay instead. I'm going to be with my family and, you know, have a nice meal. Thanksgiving to me, is a very important holiday, and I enjoy being with my family, friends of family, and, you know, and sitting down, enjoying a nice meal. So hopefully, unless things change, I doubt very much you're going to be getting any videos from me on Thanksgiving, and I wouldn't expect it from anybody else, unless again, you're a person, you know, who, you know, maybe you don't celebrate the holiday or whatever. But that's totally up to you. But for the most part, I'm going to read off my pad here, and the reason why I have to read off is because you probably say, well, can't you remember everything you write? You know, sometimes I got so much stuff, like I said in my last video, you talk about information overload. I get all this stuff conjured up in my head here, and it's hard to decipher what I want to say to you guys, you know, and I found that happened, that when I do videos, I end up forgetting things. I said, oh, geez, that's what I wanted to put in the video. I forgot all about it. I'm not going to reshoot the whole video just to put a little clip in there, whatever. I mean, you could blend it in, splice it in there. People, I'm sure, do that, but I don't want to go that route, you know. All right, I'm going to put my glasses on because I wear glasses for reading. So I just want to share this with you guys out there. You could do your own research as far as that part goes, okay? This is what I'm putting out there is based on my own experience, from what I heard from others, and going to community chat boards and so on and so forth. So, I mean, I'm kind of like just taking a little bits of piece of everybody's information, and I'm going to share it with you guys, all right? So without further ado, I don't know, I'm thinking of calling the title, hey, eBay, what's going on? My sales are dead. All right, this is my take on it, okay? And you guys, you know, you can take it for what it's worth. I'm just sharing this information with you guys. My take is, with all the changes and with categories, item specifics, managed payments coming into place, maybe putting a stall on sales, all right? Let us not forget postage increases and good to cancel GTC. Now, the reason I want to talk about postage increases, I don't know. I thought I read somewhere where it's going to go up again in January in 2020. That's what I thought I heard. Okay. Also, in case I forget, again, I didn't put this in my pad, that I believe there's going to be more changes coming up with eBay in 2020. So I don't know if it's going to come in January in 2020 or whatever, but there are going to be more changes. I don't think they're going to be talking about the spring sales, the spring updates, whatever. I don't know. All I heard is, remember listening to eBay, other eBay groups, that they were talking about that eBay is going to be having more changes coming up. I think I put it in one of my reseller news, or either Let's Talk eBay. I think I brought it in one of my videos. I don't know which one it was, last week, the week before, whatever. So yeah, be prepared for that. What kind of changes? I don't know. Like I tell you guys all the time who do follow me, and I just want to say again, thank you to the new subscribers. I do hope you like my channel. I hope you like me, and you get a takeaway from the information I put out there. If there is something that I am saying that is not copacetic and it's not right, please correct me, okay? I'm not a know-it-all, but I base a lot of my information from other people, from what I read on other community chat boards or whatever, and I'm just sharing this with you guys, okay? So if there is something that doesn't seem right to you and you have an affirmative answer, or please share it with me and share it with the rest of us. I'm sharing information with you guys, so I would appreciate if you could give me a little insight as to what I might be missing out on. Okay, I can't remember everything, and I can't touch bases on every single topic that comes out. I try to keep eBay in an informative way where if there is something that's important that I feel is very important, I will bring it out to your attention and share this information with you. Okay, so if you could help me out, I'm doing my best to help you guys out, to keep you informed. This video in particular, this one in particular, is basically to just keep you aware of what's going on, the changes that are taking place, okay, what's going on within eBay. And plus, like I said, I'm just sharing my own personal experiences with what I heard, and that's what it's all about. So without further ado, let me just read a little more into it. I don't want to keep this video on for a half hour. The last one I did is about almost close to a half hour, and I do apologize. Okay, so all right, we talked about the what do you call it? We talked about the category changes, right? There was change up with certain categories, the item specifics, the managed payments coming into place, which is already in place. As far as I know, I didn't opt into it. I'm still with PayPal. I would like to stay with them as long as I can. Plus the postage increases and the good till cancel. Now, the reason I'm bringing the postage increases up is I've had it for a couple of potential buyers that had had messaged me on the eBay board, the eBay messaging system, if I could do any better with the with the postage. I can't do anything. I don't run the postal service. If they increase the postage, that's the thing. And the other thing I forgot to put here, and I'm going to keep it in my notes here, just let me put it over here, and with the tax situation coming into place too. Okay, so that's another thing too, with the taxes. Now, I've been looking at eBay when I've been doing my the little sales I do get. I have said it before. I think my other video. That when I go to PayPal, I print out my transaction details, and with the transaction details, I also print out the packing slip. And this is all done not from eBay. This is done on the PayPal side. And the reason why I like PayPal is because at the end of the year, I could get a financial sheet of all the all the sales I made for the year, print it out, and I could work off of that. I do my taxes myself. I also have a CPA. I could also ask questions for if I'm insured or something. But I love PayPal for that one reason. Plus, they got other good perks that I like about them. I never had any problem with PayPal. I think the customer service is excellent as far as I'm concerned. That's my personal take on it. Same thing with the eBay teammates. Look, folks, this is not a complaint about eBay. It's just to make you aware of what's going on out there. And like I said, again, I'm just sharing this information with you. But I believe all those little factors that channel in do take a toll on sales. I said it. I had a couple of people who have dropped the sale because the simple reason is the postage increase. The cost was too much for them. Matter of fact, the price of the postage was more than what the item was worth, and that's pretty sad. So that will turn people off. Plus the taxes and the tax things into play now. Now here's the thing with the taxes. I want to share this with you. I made a couple sales, a couple to California. I think one was Pennsylvania. And on the bottom there, it says eBay has collected the sales tax. Okay, when I print out the transaction details, for those who don't, if you go to PayPal and you print out the transaction details for New York, Pennsylvania, I think in California, they had it there. eBay sales tax collected by eBay. Now, the way I understand it, and I could be wrong, eBay will take those taxes, will collect the taxes on your behalf, and they will submit it to that local jurisdiction. That's the way I understand it. Don't hold me accountable for it. Check with your CPA. I am not a CPA, okay? I'm not a tax advisor. All I'm saying is what I read in the past from them. I might have done a video about it. Again, there's too many videos here to refer back to, but I know I did something like that. As a matter of fact, I think I even read the part where it said eBay is going to collect the sales tax on your behalf, and they will take care of it. Of course, it is, any income you make from eBay, of course, it's got to go on your tax forms, of course, as income, which stands to reason. But in regard to the sales tax thing, check with your tax advisor or your CPA, whoever prepares your tax, and that's person that knows about taxes, you want to make sure that you understand, you got a good understanding about that, because again, I am not a tax person, okay? I'm not just sharing the information with you guys, okay? But that's what I've been seeing on my transaction details when I print them out. I do that for my records because before all the sales tax and collecting stuff was going on last year or whatever, they said they were going to come out with it. I think, 2018, I think they were starting to preempt us. I've been saving all the New York State sales tax that I collect in New York, and for that fiscal year, and I would keep it in a separate folder and say, okay, this is all the sales tax for New York for 2018, 2017, whatever. And when the time came, I did the taxes, you would submit that tax amount, whatever that amount is, to your local jurisdiction, whatever. Like mine would be in New York, Department of Taxation and Finance for New York, whatever. So again, don't hold me accountable for that, okay? I'm just putting it out there. But that's that part. Again, and let alone, I want to talk a little about the good to cancel, what I heard about it, okay? I'm not really a fan of it. I'll be honest with you. I don't like good to cancel. I had good to cancel. At one point, I had almost 400 listings, okay? I didn't have any store, okay? So think about this now. Just think about this for one moment. I had almost 400 listings, no store, and the insertion fees were 35 cents per insertion fee back then, okay? Now, when I had all those listings, if I didn't, and I had them all on good to cancel, because I was told at one point, it's like the old expression, the left hand know what the right hand's doing. I was told I was listening to eBay radio, oh, good to cancel is good to have. It's good to have because it keeps relisting. You don't have to worry about it month after month. Well, let me tell you something. I was getting insertion fees, and I said this in some of my other videos, that the amount that came out of it was enough to lease a small, cheap, compact car on a monthly basis. Okay, but that's the truth. Okay, now people may say, well, could you show us a screenshot? No, I can't, but you got to take my word for it. They were coming out, the fees were coming out astronomical. And I want to say this, and again, and I'm not saying this in a derogative way to be mean or to discourage anybody from going into eBay, but I will say this. There were times, because the sales were so slow, if any, there was not enough, I didn't make enough money for that month at that point. This is serious now. I'm being upfront and honest with you guys. I didn't make enough money to pay that insertion fee. Okay, now, with that being said, people say, well, I look at your listings. You have items for $4.99, $7.99. I know, I understand that. And that eventually, if I'm still on eBay, that will eventually change. I would like to get more higher priced items. Doesn't mean, and better items, doesn't mean because I get higher priced items and better items that my sales are going to go through the roof. No. But as I said once before on my other videos, I had somebody, I don't know if they were a subscriber or somebody just hit my channel because they liked the title. I don't know what the title was. I forget offhand. It was done a while back. And the person had stated to me, well, the items I see in your listings, the items you sell basically is non-desirables. Like these are the items that nobody really cares for. And he said that that the items are so cheap, $7.99, $4.99, $9.99. You can't make a decent living at that. And it makes sense. It's true. I mean, look, I was breaking into this here. How I got involved with eBay on a full-time basis was when I lost my job. I went through 2 company layoffs and 1 company bankruptcy. I said, strike 3. Last one was in 2016. I said, let me give a shot at it and see what happens. Okay. And I for people who follow me, and I'm sure the subscribers, there's diehard subscribers who's been with me for a long time, probably heard me say this once before. I do not sugarcoat anything, folks. Okay. Now I know people probably hear me and say, wait a minute, isn't your YouTube channel to help inspire and share? Yes, it is. It's to help you not make mistakes. Okay, it is to inspire and to share. That's what it is, help, inspire, and share. So I do want to put out good information out there, and the information I want to put out there is going to be information that's going to be helpful to you, so you don't fall into any traps or anything of that nature. I'm not saying going into eBay is a trap, but I'm just trying to say, the little pitfalls in between. Okay, I do these videos, like I said again, to help people out. And if you want to hear me out, you want to hear what I have to say, I'm a straight shooter when it comes to things of that nature. I don't have a dog in this fight, okay? And I tell it like it is, okay? There's like I said, there's the good, bad, and the ugly. And when it comes to certain things, when it pertains to, it's like anything else. If you're making great sales, like I said, I joke around sometimes with people. I say, oh, I love eBay when I'm making sales, and I hate them when I'm not. But I say that in a joking way. But the thing I'm trying to say is I also will express my thoughts and my issues and concerns about what I do and what I don't like about what's going on within the eBay company itself. Okay. Now, I mean, like I said, I wrote almost 2 pages here. I don't want to expand too much on the topic. Again, like I said, I'm sorry to repeat myself, and I'm sorry if it does go a lot longer. Sometimes you just get into it, like it sounds like you're going into a rant. I'm not really going to a rant, but at the same time, I just want to try to get this information out there to people. Okay. And bear with me on this here. It's just stuff I heard. Maybe people say, well, maybe you shouldn't go to those other chat boards and listen to what the people are saying. The reason why I like going to the chat boards, for the simple reason, folks, is because those people that are posting on those chat boards are bringing out things that you and I may not be aware of. Okay? You might have not heard of certain things happen. It happens with me. There are certain things I'd say, oh, geez, I didn't even know about that. I wasn't aware of that. Just like when I bring you to Reseller News and I'm sharing all the latest news or topics or things that pertain with eBay, Mercari, Amazon, whatever, I'm bringing that to your attention. Those are things that you may have not been aware of. Okay? So I'm just sharing information with you guys. What you get away, what takeaway you get from it is up to you. If it's helpful, give it a thumbs up. If it ain't, let me know what you didn't like about it. But let me read a little more into this because I definitely want to close out this video. I really don't want to go too long. I have to put my glasses back on again. All right. So we got through the taxes. We got through the postage increases. So this is what I want to talk about, the GTC, all right, the good to cancel. All right, I wrote over here, I remember listening to eBay Radio a while back and remembered when the topic came up. From what I remembered, GTC was not a good feature from what I heard, meaning that if you did not revise it or to make changes to your listings that were GTC enabled, they wouldn't be recognized as the new listings and would just sit there and not getting a preferred, or not getting refreshed. Yeah, we're not getting a refresh. And the only way that you could come up with search is if you ended the listings, which if you did and you relisted again, now you're going to get hit with another insertion fee. Okay, and make changes. And what do we here? Make changes and relist it again, and then, like I said again, and come up with eBay. eBay makes more money because of the new insertion fee. Okay, so that was that there, and let me see what else I have here. Yeah, and like I said, if you refreshed it as new, it could be more searchable on eBay if it was done as a new thing. I said, but with Google and eBay having any differences, I don't know if I did a while back. Again, I don't remember when I did it with each other. That could also be another factor. Was something had something to do with search. Again, do a Google search and you'll know what I'm talking about. I didn't go too far into it to go into to put it in this particular video, but I also want to point out that you can make revisions to your active listings. Now you can. Now, I mean, I had stuff on eBay, and it was sitting there for months. Okay, and I wanted to just get rid of it. I did a purge on some of the stuff I had. I got rid of a lot of stuff. I donated to my local church, and when I purged a lot of stuff and certain things I want to relist, certain things I had stuff still in the storage area, and I would bring it up and relist it. So stuff I was purging to get rid of before I purged that altogether. Because remember, just keep this in mind though. If you're going to do a relisting, you're going to revise an active listing. Don't end it. Don't end it. Just go in there, delete your photos, change your categories, the title, and so on. Your shipping costs and everything. And from what I was told, and it did work. Now, unless it's changed, you could revise it with something totally different. Okay, so let's just say you're selling. I'm selling an electronic camera. Okay, a Sony camera, whatever, and I want to change it. It's been sitting there for 3 weeks. Nothing's happening. No people are looking at it. No responses. No inquiries about it. I want to get it off of there. All right. Don't end the listing, because if you end it and then you relist it again, you say, well, I want it to be new again. If you're doing all the new changes, categories, titles, that when you reload it again, if you notice after you do your change, when you upload, it'll say redirect. It should redirect it again and put you in a searchable feature there, so to speak. Okay, so let's say I'm trading out the Sony camera, and I'm going to be putting in an HP printer. Okay, and I got all the information there. So when you do your search, give it time for this, the eBay's algorithm or search engine, whatever, to get all that there, refresh everything, the system, you should see that come up. Okay, this is what I was told, and I already tried it. It worked. Now again, that was a while back. If it changed, that's not my doing. That's eBay's doing. But you can make revisions to active listings. So keep that in your mind. You know, you don't have to sit to say, "Geez, I think I have to start. I got to do a new listing." That's what I was told. But here's the takeaway. I almost forgot this. See, that's why sometimes I forgot. That's why I got to write stuff down. But I didn't write this down. Do not change or end a listing. All right, and this is kind of like a little gray area here. Do not end a listing that has a watcher on it or bids. If you're like an auction style, you can't. If you end a listing and it has a bid on it, not so much the watches, but a bid. Okay, this is for auction. It will be a ding on your seller account. So don't do it. Even if you had that item sitting there and you got one bid on it, you say, well, geez, I got the one bid. Or let's say for some reason that item that you had a bid on, you felt you can get more money. You say, well, I'm only getting this much money. And people do that. You know, I heard stories like that. People will start an auction price off. They'll say, I start for $9.99, but I could have got $29.99 for it. So they put it up there and they're hoping it's going to bid up. It's going to increase, you know. So what happens is they stay for a while. They see it's stagnant, right? Not going anywhere. It's still sitting there. And they figured, hey, but a person put a bid on it, though. The person put the bid on it for $9.99, right? So they do that. And what happens is, the person says later on, you talk to a relative or whatever, who somebody said to you, oh, you know, you could have got $29.99 for that. Why don't you start for $29.99 and get rid of it? You could do it, but you're going to get a ding on your account. So be careful with that. If you make a commitment and it's an auction style listing, if someone puts a bid on it, don't end it. You could, but you're going to get a ding on your account. Now, there may be reasons of, you know, there may be a little, you know, area there where you could probably change it or notify the buyer and say, hey, you know, there was an error in the pricing, and you could contact eBay first. What I would do if I was you guys out there, whoever has that type of listing, contact eBay and let them advise you what you can and what you can't do. I'm telling you, this is what I was told. But like I said, with the changes going on with eBay, you know, they may have modified that there. They may have rectified that where, you know, maybe you could do it. I don't know, but that's what I was told a while back. So I just wanted to share that there. I'm glad I got that out there too. Again, like I said again, and if the item, like I said again, and if you have somebody that does put in, just keep that in mind. If someone does put in a bid, even on a fixed pricing, I had this happen, not with me, but I read about somewhere where they had a fixed price. Right? There was a fixed price. I do a lot of fixed prices with the Buy It Now best offers. And later on, somebody will make a purchase, right? They'll put a price on there, and you hear the ching going off, and the person said, geez, maybe you might have forgotten. It was a slip of the mind. You said, geez, I didn't, you know, I could have got that more money for that day. I should have changed it ahead of time. But you didn't. Somebody made a best offer on it. They did it Buy It Now, and now you're committed. Okay? Again, if you do that, if you contact the buyer, and if the buyer is in agreement with you, you know, they could, if it depends, they could, if you cancel out the order, they could leave you negative feedback. But I was told by eBay that that's, you know, you don't want to go that way. And here's another thing I want to share with you, another story that came up with the eBay as well. I had a while back, a person made a purchase of a Keurig coffee maker, and I put into, you know, what do you call it there, a non-buyer payment, whatever. They didn't make payment. It was going on for almost 3 days or whatever it was. I was going to end it, right? Because the buyer is I opened up a non-payment, right? Buyer case, whatever. And I'm glad I didn't. So what I did was, something told me, call up eBay and ask and confirm with them if I could do that there. So the person said, no, this is what I advise you to do. I messaged the buyer a couple times. Do you want this item? Do you want this item? It's all ready for shipment, whatever. Please make payment, whatever. It's all ready to go out. The eBay teammate advised me, don't do that. Open up an unpaid item case, unpaid item case, whatever, against the buyer, and let it ride. They'll get the notification over there. But they did tell me this, and this is what you got to think about. When you open up an unpaid item case against the buyer, it reflects on their seller account. Okay, so be careful with that. I made people say, well, hey, if they're not paying me, I'm going to open up a paid buyer case. I don't care if they get a thing on their account. I don't want to do that. And I told the eBay teammate, I said, listen, I don't want that I don't want the buyer to get a ding on their account, to get, get a strike on their account. They said, let it be. I just want, I don't want them to have that there. I just, I didn't want to really go through this here. I didn't know I had to go, go all through that step. I said, I don't want them to get a ding on their account. But, so anyway, they said, well, that's what's going to happen. So, needless to say, it goes through. The buyer gets back to me, messaged me, on kind of you, I got my account got affected, this, that. I said, listen, they were very upset in the messaging, because like I said, eBay gets to read all that stuff. They see it going back and forth. I don't know if you guys know that, but they do. They see everything that goes back and forth. It's all recorded. Okay. So I messaged the buyer back. I said, listen, I'm very sorry about that. I said, I was not aware that when an unpaid item case goes on, it puts a strike on your account. I said, I'm going to contact the eBay. Matter of fact, I called them up. I called up eBay. I did it. I was going to text them, but I remember calling them up. I called them up distinctly. I said, look, I don't want this buyer to get a ding on their account. I said, I wasn't aware that that's what happens. And that's the gospel truth. I didn't know. I don't want anybody to get a ding on their account or affect their selling account. These people may be doing it for a living, just like I'm trying to do for a living. And the last thing you need to have is that on their account. So I called up eBay and I said, look, I want it removed. Can you do me a favor, just this one time, remove it? I said, now I know better. I'll think twice about opening up an unpaid buyer item case. Okay. I didn't know, honest to God, I didn't know that happened. But going forward, I will work with the buyer the best I can and just see if we could just have immediate. Now, eBay has a thing too. I just want to keep this. I want you to keep this in mind. It's in your profile when you're in your account. You could set up where, I think, if I'm not mistaken, it still holds true, where you could set it up where eBay will intervene and they will open up an unpaid item cases to the buyer. So in that case there, that has nothing to do with me. Okay. Now I think I think you could check that off, opt out of it. I believe you can. Don't hold me on it. I haven't done it in a while, but I think that's what I read, where if you don't do it, they will. Something along that line. But I don't want to put any dings on anybody's account. I mean, I don't want any dings on my account. I try to keep it 100% positive feedback and stuff, and top-rated seller. I want to still maintain that status. So I wouldn't like it if someone did it to me, and I don't want to do it to anybody else. So just keep those things in mind, okay? When you get a chance, if you just come across a situation like that. Let me read a little more into this here, okay? Because it is getting late here, and I want to definitely not keep this here going. Okay, so I have over here, when it comes to new listing, right, the differences with each, okay, could be a factor. We already talked about that. But it goes on to say here, I already talked about the revisions that you can revise an active listing. From what I was told from an eBay teammate, you could change it out. Don't end it. Don't cancel that. Just don't even end it. Just go in there, revise, and if you're going to change it over, like I said again, if you're going to change it from, let's say, like I said again, I use the Sony camera in lieu of the HP printer. As long as there's no, well, I don't do auctions, I do fixed. As long as there's nobody, buys, anybody. But I think with watches, I think there's a little. Let me tell you something. Hold on for 1 second though. Now my memory's coming back with this. If somebody puts an offer in, and it's a pending offer, let's say you counter, and you got to wait for the buyer, it will not allow you to change it. Keep that in mind, folks. It won't allow you to update that, revise that thing. Let's say you want to change that thing, you want to change it. It's an active listing, but you want to revise it. Or let's say you want to make a change to that item. Not let's say change it, but let's say revise the whole thing, completely, get rid of it and put something new there. If that item, let's say it's a Keurig coffee pot, they put in for it, they make an offer, and you counter, but it's going to still show active. But let's say you say later on, geez, I had it too cheap, maybe I want to ante it up, I want to change the price on it. It won't let you do certain things in there. Okay, it won't let you revise it. So keep note on that. Okay, remember that these things are coming to me as I go along. That's why I want to share them with you guys before I forget. That's why I got to write it down on paper. Yeah, so keep that in mind. All right, I'm not, like I said again, not too much. Let's go to the next page here, and I want to be done with this here. I'm sorry I have to write things down. I cannot remember everything verbatim, so I might forget. Like you could see, certain things I forget here. So anyway, it goes over here. And this is what I was told about the teammate. This is what I was referring to, the categories. Okay, back in the day when, then I go over here, back in the day, eBay was a good selling platform. And this is like basically, I'm closing out with this here. Let me see here. I'm sorry. I'm trying to read my own writing here. what is it? I think this is what I was saying. What I think what hurt them was that eBay was trying to compete with Amazon, which they still are. I still feel they're in competition with them, and with all the changes, right? Was like opening up Pandora's box. You know what I'm saying? What do you call it there? Over here it says, I mean, my take on this is if they ain't broke, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And the other saying is too many changes. Is that saying goes? Too many cooks spoil the broth. Everybody, when they bring all these new people into their corporation, they all have all these different ideas on what they should do, how to sell, and so on and so forth. And you're getting people that don't know really too much about online resale. I'm not saying it's rocket science, but when you have people coming in and they're sitting at the top of the helm over there, making these suggestions and trying to do the better, for the betterment of the company, sometimes it doesn't always work. If you have something that works, and it is working, my take is leave it alone. Don't bother with it. It's doing its thing. It's working. Let it be. But some people, they feel, oh, if we do it this way because the old way's antiquated, we got to keep up with what's going on, the current trends right now. I understand that, but to be honest with you, it is really crazy. It really is crazy out there. And then I wrote over here, okay, let me see over here. Let me change like that. Okay, and then I also wrote over here, and let's not forget about competition. And there is plenty out there. Okay, I will have to say, with all the changes going on eBay, makes me wonder if their slow sales are geared towards small sellers. Now, I'm a small seller. I only have 120 listings on there. Okay, I have done my own research, and I bet you guys could do the same thing on some on some that have a few hundred to a few thousand. And if you want to know how much they sold, just go to their sold listings, and you can see what they sold for. I've been to one seller. He's got a YouTube channel. I'm not going to mention the names. I'm not going to give no segues to anybody else, but he's got enough competition. I have enough competition out there. This person's been selling like 20, 30 items a day, whatever it is. It can't be for the week, because if he's on a one-day shipping thing, he's got to get those orders out, unless he's got a different format of sending his merchandise out. And this person has, I think, close to 700 items listed on. He's got 2 eBay channels, 700 on one. I think it's 701, and I think on the other one has 148. Person also has about 40-something thousand, 40+ thousand subscribers. And this person will tell you when they're doing their listings, they're telling you what's sold. This person does like a selling thing. I'm not mentioning names. You can find out for yourself. So please don't text me and say, who is it? I'm not gonna disclose that. And what really gets my goat going is I'm sitting here saying to myself, because this person's a high volume seller, does eBay push them up the totem pole where a little guy like me sits below and my listings get, pushed to the side? I don't know. I hear a lot of crazy stories like that. How true it is, I don't know. Okay? But this is what I'm hearing from other people. Okay? And if you ever want to find out a little more, definitely check out the eBay community chat. I gave you the link of the last videos I had. Go there and read up that, read what's going on, the latest news, the latest and greatest news, what's going on eBay. Or the other thing is, if you want, just go to downdetector.com and you could type in, look for the eBay one, click that on, and you can read what's going on, what other sellers and buyers are experiencing on Down Detector. Very good website too. Highly recommend you check that out as well. Okay, and let's see what here, and I just say that there with that there, how they're making sales, and it is crazy for the month. If you look at some of these people at that had that those high volume sellers, if you click on their sold listings, you will see a sale every day for the whole month. Sometimes 2, 3 for that one day, 4 for that day, but every day you can count it 1, 2, 3 the whole month, and it's concurrent. So these people, I don't know what it is, but all I know is they're making sales, and I'm not making the sales like they're making. And my envy is, you sense a sales envy here? Well, you're right, I am. No, but I wish them all the best. Kudos to them. They're doing good. I'm not, but it's okay. We'll get there. Hopefully, we'll hopefully get there. All right. So I said over here, I just want to leave you with this here. Thinking about getting into the reselling business, do your research prior to going head first, and make sure you have all your bases covered. And lastly, and I repeat, lastly, and I'm not being funny, this is no joke, don't quit your day job. Get a feel of it, of the business, to see if it's right for you. that's how I closed it out. That's how I'm closing this video out. And I will say this, like I said again, I am not here to make any derogative statements about eBay. I'm not here to put the company down. I am just sharing my own personal take on it. I love eBay still. I love the platform. I've been with them since July of 1999. I've been with them for 20 years, and I consider myself a seasoned seller. So am I super experienced? No, the only experience I could share with you guys out there is from my own experience, what I'm experiencing, my own personal take. Okay. Yes, do I go to other sites to get information to, compile it and just put it out here for you guys? Yes, I do in some cases. Okay. But for the most part, I'm sharing my own personal experiences with you guys. That's what I was talking about, the good to cancel and stuff like that. I'm not crazy about it. I'll be honest with you, I'm not. But if you want to avoid with the insertion fees when it comes to good to cancel, this is just a little tip for yourself. If you got items listed and you got them listed that they're listed for 30 days, right? You see you're not getting no traction, no views, no watches, no inquiries. You could do is leave it there till it runs out. Not till it runs out, but before it runs out for the month or whatever, almost to the end of the month. And if you want to avoid relisting fees, end the auction, end it before it repeats all over again, because eventually you're going to get hit with those insertion fees, especially if you don't have a store. Okay, if you don't have a store, I had the starter store with it's $4.95 and you get 100 free listings every month. And plus the insertion fees, if you go over the 100, it's 30 cents versus if you don't have a store, it's 35 cents. I know it's a nickel, so if you say, oh geez, I'm saving a nickel, but whatever. But keep this in mind. If you're going to break into this for the first time, folks, they have it. What do you call it? eBay gives you, it was on the community chat board, 50 free listings a month. You could try it out and see where you go with it. I'm not writing no book about this here. It's very cut and dry. eBay is not rocket science. If you're thinking about starting getting into the eBay reselling business with it on eBay, all you got to do is sign up with eBay, and you go to PayPal, open an account with PayPal. Boom, you're pretty much set with that. Just abide by eBay's rules and regulations of what you can sell and you can't sell. Try to get yourself familiarized with that. But if you're going to sell household goods, then I guess it's not that bad. But just be careful of selling what you're selling on eBay. Don't sell knockoffs. Be careful if you're selling pocketbooks and stuff. Be careful, you don't want to, infringe on anybody's copyrights, because eBay will, if they see that thing is, it's not authenticated, they will remove your listing and they'll notify you. We removed it because we feel this is not an authenticated item. I had that with a little purse. I thought it was a little Gucci purse, and I put it up there and I took a picture of the inside. It had a label, it had a number in it, stuff like that, and eBay removed it. So I said, okay, hey, I'm not going to relist it again. So just get rid of it. I'm not going to put it up there if it's not authenticated. I thought it was authenticated. I mean, I thought it was genuine because it had the number, it had a little label thing in there. But they make it, these knockoffs are so authenticated, the way they look, you would think, oh, this is original thing, So they took it off and I left it off, But however, if you are going to sell stuff like that, just to share this with you guys, if you are going to sell anything like pocketbooks, Prada, Gucci, those type of things, those high-end priced items, eBay has this thing where they eBay authenticate whatever. You could check it out. You could just do a Google search on it. And the way I think it works is you would take your product, that particular item, if it's a Gucci bag, a genuine Gucci bag, at least you think it is, you could send it off to eBay. eBay has people, I think, in there that authenticate it. I don't know what happens with that process. I never used it because I don't get involved with that type of stuff. The stuff I sell is not high-end stuff. I have I think a couple little pocketbooks there, like knockoffs. They're like non-branded names like that. But if you're going to sell something like a Prada or Gucci, whatever, Michael Kors, and you want to authenticate it, if it's yours, that's a whole different story. If you bought it, you got the paper to prove it. This is a genuine bag. That's a whole different story. They'll know, you'll know, especially if you go over here. I'm in the island here in New York. they have a store here, a mall over here, Roosevelt Field, and they have those high-end stores in there, those boutiques, Gucci, Michael Kors, whatever, Prada. And when you're buying there, that's the real deal there. As far as I know, now people say, well, you know, they could. I don't know, because I don't buy stuff like that for my daughters. Okay, they're not, you know, driven into that type of, you know, item like that. They're not really crazy about that stuff. But I'm just trying to say, if you're buying from a store like that, you would hope that it's genuine. And if you bought it, let's say it was gifted to you, you know, you're a woman, it was gifted to you, your mother handed it down to you, your sister handed it down to you, and you know it's genuine, you paid $400, $500, $600 for it, you know, then you could probably do something like that. But if you're unsure, you go to a local thrift store and you pick up a bag and you say, geez, this is, you know, this is a Gucci bag or whatever product, right? And you take it and you put it on there, you can, you know, create a little problem for yourself. You might want to do that there. Now, as far as sending it, I think you send it to eBay. I think they do an authentication. I don't know if, I guess it's done at their premises. I don't know if they send it off-site, whatever. I don't know from that point on if after you send it to them, they will list it for you or they send it back to you or something like that. I'm not really sure on that process. I didn't do the research because I know I don't sell things like that. But if you are getting involved with that or thinking about that, look into it for yourself. Do your research on it, okay? That's basically it, folks. I can't think of anything else I say. There was something I did want to say with you guys, and I forgot. That's why I write everything down on a pad, because I forgot what I wanted to tell you guys. I don't know. I can't remember offhand. I think I filled your ears enough with enough talk here and stuff like that. I do hope, though, one thing that you guys do get a takeaway from. I hope it helps. Okay, and like I said again, I am not here to discourage anybody from selling on eBay or make any derogatory statements about eBay. I'm just sharing my thoughts and issues and, you know, concerns about why I feel the sales are the way they are. Now, some people out there may beg to differ. They're saying, I'm doing great. I'm making sales every day. And that's great. You know, I wish them all the best. Kudos to them. But, you know, I'm going to have to leave it like that, you know, at that there. And I just want to say this before I forget. First off, I want to say thank you again to all the new subscribers who recently subscribed to my channel. Thank you so much. It's greatly appreciated. My channel is growing slowly but surely it's growing. I'm hoping one day I could reach hundreds of thousands or even millions of subscribers because I really want to put out information out there. On this channel, I do not discuss religion or politics, and there's no profanity on it. So I consider it, I know with everything going on with COPPA, right? I shouldn't even say this here, but I consider it a kid-safe channel. You know, in other words, I don't use profanity. I don't talk. I don't do stupid things to influence people. I don't go sitting there jumping off of buildings, hang gliding, cliff diving, and doing stuff like that. I'm not saying the people that do that there is bad. I don't do it. I don't do stuff like that on my channel. You'll never see me doing stuff like that. Okay, that's what I'm all about. And you know, like I said again, I keep it real, and I tell it like it is. I don't sugarcoat anything. Okay, like I said earlier, I don't have a dog in this fight. I'm not here to compete against other YouTube creators. There's a lot of good creators out there. I think a lot of creators do a really good job. The only thing I will say that's going on right now that I've been looking at as a YouTube creator, there's a lot of talk about COPPA going on. For those people who know, the Children Protection Agency, whatever it is, it's something that the FTC is ruling out, I think in January. Well, I think in January 2020, that's when all this stuff is going to start kicking in. Just like with eBay, all the changes will be kicking in. So there's a lot of talk about, if you go on if you go on YouTube, you will see things like that, especially if you subscribe to these people. There's a lot of people out there talking about this here. And it stands to reason. You know, if people have certain things, if you don't abide by the rules and regulations or the community guidelines, you can get yourself in a problem. You can have your channel terminated. You can get a fine, whatever, if they find you not complying with their rules and guidelines. You know, so you really got to be careful. My channel, you know, for all intents and purposes, the way I see it, is not geared for children. I can't picture a kid 6, 7 years old listening to a guy like me and probably saying, "Who is this bozo? What am I listening to?" You know, seriously. You know, I can't see it happening like that. Why a person would want to, or a kid, you know, if they did hit my channel accidentally, what they're going to listen to? They'd probably turn me right off anyway. You know, because I'm probably saying that I'm not interested in reselling. I'm not interested in eBay. They're interested in probably watching cartoons or toys or whatever it is. You know, so I could see that happening. But for the most part, hey, it is what it is, you know. All we could do is, if you're going to start, that's another thing, I'll just leave with this. If you're going to start a YouTube channel, keep it real, keep it clean. Put out good content, good clean content out there. And now that you know what's going on, think twice about if you're going to gear up towards, if you are going to do, I don't know if it affects gaming channels too, but if you're going to do gaming or something that's going to pertain to, where it might interact with kids, they may find your channel. You may want to think twice about that. If you're doing something like a reality thing, like I'm also a vlogger, I will talk about some how-to stuff, maybe talk about digital cameras and stuff like that. Those are the type of things I like. I don't think that would be more driven towards a kid. I don't know, but I would think it's more poised towards adults, to watch those type of movies, or I should say, not movies, videos. So, really, if you're going to do something like that, think twice about it. Just like do your research, of course. Just like I tell you, do your research with eBay. You don't want to fall into pitfalls. You don't want to get yourself into a situation where it's going to be hard to, explain yourself and get out of it. So just be careful when it comes to things of that nature, especially if you're going to do a YouTube channel. Just see where you're getting, where it's going, what direction you want to head in. And read all that information that YouTube has put out about copper and the FTC. As far as I'm concerned, it's like, to me, looking at the people I follow, and just in general, that the YouTube is flooded with it. I mean, I never seen so many people making videos about this here. And even the people I subscribe to, they don't touch topic, on this once, twice. It's like usually 3 times I've seen it from the same person. Updates or this. So I finally understood this or this, that. And they're making they're redoing videos or revising videos by making new ones talking about that particular topic. I mean, it's kind of serious, But again, what can I say? That's all I can tell you. I mean, that's just be real, keep good, clean content, and hopefully things will, work its way out. I mean, I don't know. I really don't know. Maybe there'll be changes. Maybe the FTC will, revise some of their things. Maybe they might be a little too strict on certain things. Who knows? I don't know. I'm not experienced in that line. I'm not a lawyer. I can't, I can only decipher what I read and try to understand it to the best of my ability. However, if you do want to know more about the copper, that thing about the FTC and copper, there's a person, a social media lawyer. He considers himself. He's a good guy. I don't know him personally. I only know him, through YouTube, of course. His name is Ian Corzine. You might have heard of him. He's like, I'm your social media lawyer, whatever. And if you contact him if you have questions for him, will respond to you. At least he's been responding to me, So I like his videos, and he's a lawyer. So I mean, you're getting a straight talk from him. It's not somebody like me just coming up with these. Not that I'm making any assumptions or stuff like that. I'm not assuming different things with that. But he's a lawyer. He'll tell it straight. He'll give you the straight talk on that. But anyway, listen. It's going on 4 o'clock over here, 4 p.m. in New York here. I know I always throw out that there, right? You got to throw away. People are like, why is this guy always throwing out the time? Because it's getting close to dinner time. I'm over here, like I said, in the East Coast of New York. I'm over here in the island, the suburbs of Long Island. And it is getting late. And I just want to say, in case I don't make any more videos for today, I don't think I will. But I just want to say, if I don't make it between now and Thursday, which is Thanksgiving, I want to wish all of you, and I mean all of you out there, subscribers and not subscribers, or people just hitting my channel, I want to wish you all a happy, healthy Thanksgiving. Enjoy your family and friends. It's a nice holiday to get together and and share those nice moments, those memorable moments. So I just want to say that enjoy your holiday and stuff like that. And lastly, I just want to say I'm wishing everybody happy eBay sales. Okay, maybe things will pick up soon. I don't know. I really couldn't tell you. I'm hoping if I get any news flashes or any Google alerts and stuff like that about any changes coming up, I will post it out there. However, I don't know if I don't think I'm going to be on my computer on Thursday. Maybe just to check. I might just check basically early in the morning before we start going out to the family get-togethers, and just to see if I have any sales. You never know. Because there could be people in different parts of the states or whatever that may, like I said again, may or may not celebrate the holiday, or they just don't. You don't, and they figure, go sell on eBay. But it won't be. I don't think it's going to be processed that day. But I will check and see if I got anything. I keep my cell phone with me all the time, and I got the eBay app. So if I hear a cha-ching, I say, okay, well, it's okay. They'll have to wait till Friday to get it sent out, you know. So yeah, I hope everything goes all right. I hope whatever it is that eBay's doing, I hope they'll rectify the problem and get it fixed once and for all. Because if you go to the eBay community chat boards and you go to downtotech.com, you'll hear people complaining. They're not happy with eBay. Some people thinking closing up shop and getting off of it. I myself have I'm thinking about maybe doing away with the store, because I don't make enough right now. I'm not making enough sales to justify that expense, even though it's only $4.95 a month. If I can't sell even up to 50 items a month, what's the sense of me keeping the store, right? Why don't you just get the 50 free listings that eBay gives you every month and just work with that, and then build off of that. If I ever do sell 50 items, you know, within a month, that'd be great, you know. But I have to have it. For me, I got to justify an expense like that, okay? And that's another thing I want to say really quick. If you're thinking about getting a store, start off with the 50 free first. See if you're even going to sell 50 items for that month, okay? Because it's based on a monthly basis. It's not like you know, you're going to do that in a year. You know, if you say, well, I sold over 50 within a year, I'm not talking about a year. I'm talking about a month. If you're not making 50 lists, if you got 50 free listings and you're not selling anything, you're not selling 50 items, you know, that's a telltale sign to say, hey, I don't need a store, you know. So that's why I said, you know, the only changes I'm going to probably end up doing, me personally, is probably doing away with the store. I don't think I really need it right now. Looking at my listings and what I sold in October was on like 20 something listings, you know, 26 items or something like that, 25 items, something along that line. It wasn't much. So it doesn't really justify me to have a store and pay $4.95 a month when I'm not even selling over 100 items, you know. So it is what it is, folks. It is what it is. It's a game that if you want to stay into it, you want to stay in the game, you can stay in the game. Not saying to bail, not saying to sail or bail, but you know, you got to do what's going to work for you. That's the most important thing. You got to do what's going to work for you, and you got to work within your budget. And people may say, well, geez, $4.95 is not a lot of money, you know, it's for a monthly expense. But for some people, it is. For some people, it is. Some people, if they're not making enough sales, why keep it? You know, if you're not, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, let me let you guys go. You heard my grandfather's clock back there. It's 4 p.m. Okay? Have a great one. Until next time, my name is Rich Pasini. You're watching Let's Talk eBay for November 26, 2019. Take care. Have a great day. Bye-bye for now.